schemes, the bonding between Virgil and his friends or family makes good storytelling.
Light, sweet, made with watermelon seed flour, Simple Mills.
Bent out of shape, as Virgil, Richie, and Daisy have become the new trio of friends, they are now hanging out with Sharon, waiting in line for concert tickets for a new musician called Stringer. Sharon takes Virgil and his friends inside with the help of a VIP ticket, as she has been dating Stringer recently. Before the show starts, Virgil and Richie overhear Stringer ignoring the technician's warning of not using fireworks inside. However, as nature would have, the little fireworks show during the event led to a fire, and Static had to rescue the people from the hazard. Static gets upset at Stringer and blames him for the fire in front of Sharon. When Static tries to pull Stringer's hand, it appears rubbery, revealing him to be the Rubber Band Man. Static aims to take Rubber Band Man back to jail, which makes Stringer extremely angry, since this is the second time Static has ruined everything going for him. Stringer promises to reveal Static's secret identity and flees. The news of Stringer being Rubber Band Man goes public, and a new pair of metahumans are introduced. They are Puff and Onyx, who decide to be bounty hunters and catch Rubber Band Man from a baby. Virgil's home gets surrounded by press, and Robert fends off several phone calls while Sharon talks about Stringer. Virgil rants about Stringer being a bad guy, which brings Sharon to tears. While looking for Rubber Band Man, Static fails to notice him disguising himself as a dish antenna. Rubber Band Man follows Static to an alley and almost observes him open his mask, only to be discovered when a dog pees on him. Rubber Band Man still manages to put Static inside a bin and pull his mask, but before he can see Static's real face, he gets pulled by the bounty hunter, Bang Babies. As already mentioned, in the comics, Rubber Band Man's original name was Stringer, and this could be a reference to that. It's quite interesting that, unlike famous DC heroes like Elongated Man and Plastic Man, who have similar superpowers, Rubber Band Man can shapeshift. Rubber Band Man escapes from Puff and Onyx, while Static makes a mask out of clothes from the dumpster and emerges from it. The Bang Babies leave Static, as they are after Rubber Band Man for the police reward. Rubber Band Man sneaks into the Hawkins apartment to meet Sharon.
You gonna let me collect my stash or what?
Surrender to the police. Sharon calls Robert for help, and Robert promises to talk with Captain Fitz to reduce Stringer's sentence. All of this is heard by Puff and Onyx, who have hijacked a news van and tapped onto the Hawkins residence telephone line. Virgil and Richie also return home at the same time. Sharon tries to hide Stringer, who first shapeshifts into a vacuum and then into an armchair. However, Virgil discovers him, and before there can be some reconciliation, Puff knocks in dressed as a police officer. Virgil recognizes her and shuts the door. Onyx breaks the wall and tries to catch Stringer. Puff and Onyx kidnap Sharon, forcing Static and Rubber Band Man to follow. Puff appears to have the power to transmute and blow corrosive gas and knockout gas, depending on her mood. She knocks out Rubber Band Man when he tries to rescue Sharon from a rooftop. Rubber Band Man rolls into the bleachers of a nearby stadium, and even Onyx falls on him while trying to target Static. Puff also corrodes the bleachers' wooden pillars, bringing them down. Onyx, Rubber Band Man, Static, and herself. Static and Rubber Band Man emerge unscathed and are ready to fight when they see Sharon running toward them. Their mutual love for Sharon stops the animosity as Static and Rubber Band together rescue Puff and Onyx from the rubble. Rubber Band Man, while Stringer, further proves to be reforming, as later Robert shares that he has been moved into a safer prison and could be out soon due to his good behavior. So we can sure wait for some more interesting interaction between Stringer and... This time, the scene opens at the Freeman Community Centre, which is hosting a fancy party in honor of the inauguration of the new Edwin Gymnasium facility. Robert and Sharon are dressed in formal party clothes as they wait for Virgil, while another attendee, Edwin Jr., gets shunned by his dad, Edwin Alva Sr., for performing poorly in school. The mayor and Edwin Alva inaugurate the facility with a pretentious speech, while an unintentional remark about his father's legal troubles lands Edwin Jr. in jeopardy. The same situation also arises for Virgil, who, as Static, has been fighting 3 snake-like metahumans. He arrives late for the party, earning his father's ire. We can sense a theme out here related to sons unintentionally disappointing their fathers. While Virgil cribs about his dad's unfair complaints to Richie, we find Edwin Jr. approaching his father with a device that can control attached to the comic books, where the mutations to the Bang Babies were caused by a liquid mutagen called quantum juice. Edwin Jr. wears a suit filled with several bubbles containing the modified gas. Edwin Jr. explains that each of these gas bubbles will give him a new superpower each time he pops them. Soon enough, Edwin Jr. launches an attack of fireballs on an Alva Industries ship, causing it to drown. The crews on the ship take out the guns they have been smuggling and aim them at Edwin Jr. to no avail. Static arrives at the place and fails to lift the boat. Giving up, Static breaks a metal board and helps the crew reach the shore. Edwin Jr. gets upset at Static for overthrowing his plans. He takes the name Omnifarious, pops more bubbles to become super strong, and uses X-ray vision to see Static's real face. Static has also identified Omnifarious as Edwin Jr. However, they decide to keep each other's secret for the time being. Sometime later, when Edwin Jr. and his father are having dinner, York comes with news about Omnifarious causing more damage to Alva Industries. At the same time, Virgil's dad tries to talk to him, but Virgil is upset Robert doesn't believe in him. As Virgil discusses all this with Richie, he gets a call from Omnifarious about not interfering, as otherwise Edwin will reveal Static's secret identity. Static takes it upon himself to stop the rampage and breaks into Edwin Sr.'s bedroom while he is sleeping. Static informs him that Edwin Jr. is Omnifarious and asks Edwin Sr. to check the lab. Sharon also finds her father not sleeping and worrying about Virgil. She shares a little childhood secret to convince her father that Virgil is a good person and that they should trust him. It's pretty adorable to watch Sharon kiss Virgil on the cheeks as he gets annoyed, which is peak sibling behavior. Virgil takes his father to the roof to disclose his identity, but Robert doesn't want to hear anything as he now believes in Virgil. Meanwhile, Edwin Sr. confronts his son at the lab, and when Omnifarious uses the gas to Hulk out, Edwin Sr. orders guards in flying machines to stop him. For a moment, the buff Omnifarious takes the face of his father, but it quickly changes to his normal self. Now, if this was intentional or a goof-up, we are not sure. The altercations between Omnifarious and the guards cause several explosions, which Virgil also observes from his rooftop. As several flying machines shoot after Omnifarious, Edwin Sr. tries to call them off. However, he cannot reveal Omnifarious as his son, and the guards ignore Edwin Sr. as they fire in self-defense. Static also arrives and asks Edwin Sr. to call off the firing, but as Edwin Sr. is helpless, Static rushes to save the situation. Static causes an electromagnetic pulse burst that shorts all the buildings and flying machines, causing the guards to escape in parachutes. Omnifarious comes back to confront his father and bursts all the bubbles, but the combination of several modified gases makes his mutations uncontrollable until he turns into stone. Static leaves after sharing his regret of revealing Omnifarious's identity to his father. As Edwin breaks down in sadness and shame, Omnifarious's stone eyes glow yellow. Replay.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The 12th episode begins at the Dakota Mall, where a former child actor, Johnny Morrow, robs a store of its valuables. It appears he is helped by several clones of himself, indicating that he is a Bang Baby. Johnny had his own TV show and even fan clubs, but when his show got cancelled, he fell from fame and became bitter as well. Virgil, Richie and Daisy have also been eating at the mall food court when they hear the mall alarm ring and watch Johnny and his clones rob several stores. Virgil makes an excuse for food poisoning so that he can come back as Static. He runs after Johnny and tries to catch him, but Johnny and his lookalikes throw Static into a store. Johnny hides inside the abandoned kids' circus place behind the mall. Static follows him and watches Johnny vanish one of the lookalikes. Realizing that Johnny is a metahuman, Static confronts him. Static also recognizes Johnny as a former star who now calls himself Replay. Johnny explains that his copies are energy clones and he mimics Static's power, which causes a power clash. To his dismay, Static finds a doppelganger of himself next to him, who escapes before a beam falls on Static, knocking him down. Johnny's character is played by famous Hollywood actor Neil Patrick are scared of him. The chief and his squad try to catch Static, but he escapes through the manhole, and this is the first time we see Static wearing his yellow goggles. Meanwhile, Replay rejoices at Static's fall from grace and removes the mask from the doppelganger's face, but white noise in the shape of the mask appears in its place. Replay finds the shock box inside Static's clothes and calls the real Static through it. Replay now plans something that would be personal. Despite being a doppelganger, there are some differences between the two Statics. For instance, doppelganger Static's clothes are darker in color, his t-shirt emblem is not proper, and he doesn't speak. The call works in favor of the real Static, who goes to Richie's house and coaxes him into helping. Richie changes the shockbox's frequency, and they hear a transmission of Replay instructing his clones and Static's doppelganger for revenge. Virgil and Richie search the internet and find that Johnny was fired from his own TV show called Johnny on the Spot. Virgil realizes that Johnny is going to attack the DKT studio, which broadcasted Johnny's show, and has now built a new studio. The real Static arrives at the studio and learns that Replay, his clones, and doppelganger Static are already trashing the place. The security guard calls the police, while Richie also sneaks in, as a part of him still believes in Static. He finds the clone and realizes that Static is telling the truth. Richie switches on the cameras from the control room so that Replay and Static's conversation is played on national TV. Replay shares his plans to destroy the studio to get revenge for replacing his show and put the blame on Static. The chief and his squad watch this and get inside to catch Johnny. Richie announces that Johnny is on TV, which momentarily brings joy to Johnny's face, but soon realizes the danger and tries to flee. But this time, Static shocks the doppelganger and Replay, causing the clones and the doppelganger to vanish. As the police arrest Replay, Static bids goodbye to the chief, his reputation now restored. Static also reconciles with Richie and promises to treat him.
With so many choices on Booking.com, there are so many Tina Feys I could be. Music buff Tina at a Nashville vacation home, or just buff Tina at a hotel gym. Book whoever you want to be. Booking.com, Booking.yeah.
Tantrum. So far, the series has avoided the cliched angsty stuff, but not anymore. For a fitting season finale, it is perhaps the best time to feature some deep emotional content, starting with Virgil visiting his mom Jean Hawkins' grave during her Memorial Day. Virgil shares the incident of the last few days in front of the grave. So, on a school field trip to an amusement park, Virgil, Richie, and Daisy meet with Daisy's mum, and then they encounter one of their studious classmates, Thomas Kim. Richie and Virgil try to convince Thomas to join in the fun, but he refuses. Soon after a food fight, Static finds a train running on the wrong track that ends abruptly. He creates impromptu tracks so that the train lands safely on the ground. The passengers share their gratitude, and one of them comments that Static's mother would be proud of him. Later at home, Static feels uncomfortable seeing his mum's video and pictures. As per writer Christopher Simmons, this story takes place a few years after the death of Virgil's mother. It is fair to assume that Virgil is dealing with some repressed emotions regarding his mother's untimely death. He goes out to patrol and finds a Hulk-like, purple-skinned, orange-haired Bang Baby rampaging on a 5-star restaurant. Just like the Marvel superhero Incredible Hulk, the Bang Baby has a limited vocabulary and the disposition of an angry baby. Static also proves unsuccessful in subduing the Bang Baby as he appears to get madder with the attacks. The next day at school, they witness Thomas Kim get upset at Mrs. Pettibone for receiving a 99 in a 100-mark test. Sometime later that day, Virgil notices that Bang Baby approach Mrs. Pettibone at the parking lot. Static steps in to save the teacher, but he gets bruised and beaten by the hulking monster. At home, Virgil gets upset at Sharon when she asks him to give a memorial speech for their mother. Robert goes to comfort Virgil, realizing that he still might be grieving his mum's death. According to Dwayne McDuffie, he was initially against the idea of killing Jean Hawkins, as he wanted to portray a non-stereotypical nuclear family as his. While as per Phil Lamar, this is his favorite episode, as Static is dealing with something other than superhero stuff. Virgil informs his father that he needs time and doesn't want to talk about his mum or feelings. He gets distracted when Richie calls with evidence that Thomas is the Bang Baby. Richie tells Virgil that he has found Thomas's essay paper in the parking lot, and the next day they visit Thomas at his home. Thomas's dad appears as stuck up as Thomas, and we finally understand why Thomas was stressed about one mark. Thomas Thomas's mum asks them to go to his room, and when the boys show him his papers, Thomas gets angry, throws a tantrum, and forces them out. As Thomas looks at the mirror, we see his face changing. Back at Virgil's home, Richie forces Virgil to watch a video of toddler Virgil throwing a tantrum. However, instead of scolding or coddling him, Jean waits for Virgil to calm down. Richie realizes that the video has made Virgil emotional, but it's not really the time to be so, as the hulking Thomas, or as we may now call him Tantrum, breaks in. Virgil fends off Tantrum, allowing Richie to escape, and he dresses up as Static. He lures Tantrum to the under-renovation amusement park. Static evades all the attacks by Tantrum until he gets exhausted and turns back into Thomas. As Thomas loses consciousness, the police arrive. Virgil finishes telling the story to his mum and mentions that Thomas's parents are now aware of his condition and are taking better care of him. Robert and Sharon arrive to pick up Virgil, and later, at the church, Virgil gives a speech about his mum, indicating that he has stopped grieving. As Virgil hugs his sister and father, we bid an emotional goodbye to this season. Season 2, The Big Leagues. The second season of Static Shock begins with a bang and right into the thickest of the big leagues. It starts humbly with Ferret, a metahuman stealing from the farmer's market. When Static follows him, Static corners him in an alley, but a bunch of balloons with uncanny smiles emerge from the sewer, releasing knockout gas. As Static falls unconscious, something grabs Ferret and pulls into the sewer. Ferret is introduced to the Joker, who calls himself Uncle Jay, and his new group of metahuman cronies, Talon, Shiv, Hotstreak, and Kangol. Joker shares that he has come to Dakota to make a new gang, as his old playmates are all in jail thanks to Batman and Robin. However, when Ferret refuses to join, Joker sprays him with a laughing gas. Joker and his gang then break into a fire station to steal fire trucks, which they use to break into a bank. Static tries to stop them, and instead finds Ferret tied to a dumpster, laughing uncontrollably, and with a note saying, "Missing you." When Static sneaks into the hospital to check up on Ferret, he meets Batman and Robin, who have come to look for Joker. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill reprise their role as Batman and Joker, respectively, as the story is set in the new Batman Adventures 1997 era. However, Robin is shown to be a bit older, and hence voiced by Eli Marienthal. Batman sprays another gas on Ferret, which stops his maniacal laughter. The detective duo of Batman and Robin examines Ferret's clothes and shoes to find clues, and Static tags along. They find the sewer through which Ferret was abducted, but it takes them to the industrial district and a wider area to cover. In the tunnel, Static gets a call from his father to return home, which is kind of embarrassing when you are working with Batman. Nevertheless, Batman asks Static to signal him if necessary, and leaves on their Batwing. The Batwing is, however, designed based on Batman the Animated Series, as storyboard artist David Klistake preferred it. Meanwhile, Joker has learned that Batman is after him, and as he instructs his team to seize the opportunity, we see a picture of Harley Quinn on his desk. On the other hand, Kanga appears scared of Joker, especially after what he did to Ferret. The next day, Virgil meets up with Richie, who now sports a different hoodie and an earring. Virgil notices Talon scouring the sky and follows her as Static. She lures him into a tunnel, but Static doesn't enter and sends a bat signal to the sky. Batman and Robin arrive at the spot and enter the tunnel, asking Static to stay on the lookout. However, the duo gets ambushed and captured by Uncle Jay and his meta-breed kids, who tie Batman and Robin to the stolen and modified fire trucks. Kangor and Hotstreak also bring down the tunnel on Static, stopping him from following. Static still escapes the rubble and finds the Batwing. With Richie's help, Static rides the Batwing to find where Joker has taken Batman and Robin. Joker starts filming Batman and Robin as he prepares to crush them, but Static enters and helps the heroes to get free. Together, they defeat the villains with swift moves, but when Joker plans to electrocute Batman, Static holds Joker's hand instead and gives him a taste of his own medicine. From this point onwards, Dennis Cowan wanted Kids WB to become more accustomed to adult villains. He wanted to show that adult villains could also be fun and exciting. Moreover, Alan Burnett, a writer for Static Shock, also felt that this episode allowed Static to be more comfortable with night scenes. As the villains get caught by the police, we see Batman and Robin bidding goodbye to Static with a hint of promise about working with him again. Power play. In this segment, we see Richie playing alone in the abandoned gas station, pretending to be a superhero. He gets embarrassed and mad at Static, who has been watching him. Static jokes that even he pretends to be the Green Lantern and speaks in his voice. This refers refers to the fact that Phil Lamar also voices John Stewart, the Green Lantern, in Justice League 2011. As Richie leaves on his scooter, he runs into an old man in an eerie and abandoned part of the town. When Richie helps the man up, he feels certain charges in his palms. As the old man disappears into an alley, two boys laugh at Richie and vanish. Richie again meets with Virgil and tells him the story. When Virgil goes to get drinks, Richie notices a runaway truck heading towards a puppy trying to cross the street. Richie runs to save the pup and stops the truck with a newfound superpower. Virgil watches this and takes Richie to the junkyard to test the powers. Virgil jokes that Richie could be his sidekick, and Richie goes all out using his powers. However, weirdly enough, Richie runs out of power and Virgil has to save him. Richie gets upset and finds the old man who gave him powers. The two boys from earlier, Run and Jump, appeared in front of Richie and called for the old man. The old man introduces himself as Ragtag and promises to power Richie in exchange for keeping it a secret. It's pretty funny that neither Richie nor Jump and Run ever call him by that name. Static calls Richie through the shock box, but he doesn't reply, so Static connects to Foley's telephone by hot wiring. Mrs. Foley picks up and informs that Richie is supposed to be with him. Just then, Static observes an imminent accident and rushes to help. Static's first stops some iron bars from falling on the people below, and then stops an overloaded crane from breaking down on them. Richie also arrives and scoops the people to safety using his magical powers. Richie then saves the two men falling from the crane, which earns him public appreciation. When Static arrives with the broken piece of the crane, the people ignore him. Static takes Richie to a rooftop to speak, and Richie declares his new superhero name, Push. Static and Richie again get into an argument, and Richie throws down Static with his powers, shocking him. Push goes back to meet Ragtag and observes him giving powers to Jump. Richie requests Ragtag to power him up, but this time, the old man asks for something more in exchange. This part of the story is used as a reference to spread awareness about drug addiction among children. The show tries not to be too preachy, and even uses the name Push as a reference to drug pushers. Ragtag has sent Push, Run and Jump to steal from a museum. Since the time Richie gained power, he could be seen wearing a jumpsuit. Like Run and Jump. As Run and Jump describes the plan, Richie realizes that he has gone too far and refuses to be a part of it. However, he is challenged by Run and Jump. Richie smartly breaks the museum window, which sounds the alarm, and Static arrives to help Richie fight the other two boys. Once Run and Jump are defeated, Richie and Static
I got 5 if you wanna get 2 green Lucy's a piece.
confront Ragtag. The old man cunningly tries to draw Static's life force, knocking him unconscious. But this time, Richie gets rid of the villain without any superpowers. Later, at the abandoned gas station, Richie and Virgil argue about who is stronger as a superhero, but decide to solve it over a game in the arcade. After episode
Let me know
1,
what to send you
this
good.
might be
I'm
a
gonna send you
light
like
one, but it is
450
still important to
with
tie
the
every
taxes.
loose end before Richie is established as Static's loyal partner.
Alright.
Brother-sister act. This is one.
What exciting benefits do you get as a Hertz Gold Plus rewards?
Let's skip the line and go right here.
Lord knows I'm a sinner. Pain pills for dinner. Bitch, I'm getting money like I got a money printer. Got a chopper in the chinner. Shooting like Jenner. Jumping in that water, boy. You better be a swimmer. Missing me a nigga.
His older sister Sharon, but still cares for her. He hits it up with some Static Shock, eats
Said,
it,
fuck
and
you,
leaves in a hurry
bitch.
for
I get
patrolling. When Sharon touches the plate, her hands get
Alright,
burned by
baby.
the heat. On the other hand, we have two bang babies, Boom and Mirage, who are a brother and sister duo. Boom convinces his little sister Mirage to rob a nightclub so that they can help their grandmother. Boom uses his chest as a speaker to get past the guard and destroy the club speakers. While Mirage coaches from pictures on the walls to scare away the people. Static arrives late at the scene and discusses the issue with Chief Barnsdale when the reporters rush in. Static's interview briefly mentions Slipstream and Replay, the two metahumans from Season 1. Static's interview is observed by Sharon and her friends when she notices that Static and Virgil use the exact phrase, Y2K. As she drives home, her car loses power, but Static runs past her, juicing it up. Sharon notices Static going the same way as her and catches Virgil closing his room window, which helps her piece the truth. The series has always been more popular than the comics, and this happened even after so many alterations to the characters and their costumes. For instance, in the comics, Static's powers look more realistic with a blue outline than the one in the series, which has a purplish outline. However, the most drastic change was perhaps the fact that Static and Sharon's mum were alive in the comics, and the focus on Robert Hawkins was only for the series. Back to our rogues. Mirage is upset with their riches to rags situation, but doesn't approve of stealing and robbing. The following day, Sharon showers an extra dose of affection on Virgil, trying to get more clues, which puzzles him. Virgil listens to the radio in his room, which announces a huge prize money for the next caller. Richie is already poised to win the sum, but Boom appears at the radio station and steals the money. Sharon also hears the news and rushes to tell Virgil, only to find his bedroom window open and the shock box lying on the bed as Richie keeps calling Static. Sharon's suspicions are proved true. Meanwhile, near the radio station, Mirage conjures elephants to attack the police, while Boom's sudden noise knocks Static and the police, leading to a part of a building falling on Mirage. Static saves Mirage and takes her to the hospital, where she shares her worries about Boom. Static relays the news to Chief Barnsdale, but Boom breaks into the room and takes Mirage away. The character of Chief Barnsdale has also been made recurring for the series, as he is often Static's ally in crime fighting. Sharon, still trying to catch Virgil red-handed, takes him to a destroyer's game. As Virgil drives home, she says that she knows he is Static. As Richie also arrives, both the boys laugh at her, but when Virgil watches Boom and Mirage entering, he excuses himself and goes to change into Static. Static sets off the sprinklers to get his sister away and finds Boom in the arena management room, where Mirage is already angry at Boom for hurting the manager. Static snatches the money box from Boom as a reference to the popular reality TV show Jeopardy.
A city on the verge of greatness. A new type of city, based not on the man, but on the automobile, the car, a symbol of freedom and vitality.
Constantly attacks Static. Mirage creates a blinding light around Boom. Static manages to confine Boom in a glass box, which
Where every man can own his own home, have room to breathe, not be overlooked by his neighbors.
until she sees Static flying away behind the police cars. It appears that Sharon
The city where a man's home is his castle,
Mirage has a
a
favor.
quarter acre of the dream made possible by victory. A city of opportunists. The city of dreams, where Hollywood will shape the thoughts and desires of the entire planet. The city of pioneers. A city of dreamers. A city of undercurrents, where not everything is as it seems. 20th century city that will become a model for the world. A city that has no boundaries, that will stretch as far as the eye can see. In the Marine Corps, you deal with the chain of command. Mistakes get made, but you deal with them. You know what you're fighting for, and that you're on the same team. But dealing with corruption is like chasing shadows. You never know whether the guy you're talking to is on the pad, or whether it's your partner, or maybe even the watch commander. So who do you trust, Cole? I made up my mind a long time ago.
KGPL calling caller 14 Adam. 14 Adam, come in.
Go ahead, KGPL.
14 Adam, see the detective an ambulance shooting at 6th and Industrial Street. Unit 16 William requests uniform assistance for an evidence search. 14 Adam, code 2.
Roger, 14 Adam en route. Here we go again. They don't request uniforms for an evidence search unless there's some kind of catch. Ever the optimist. From the beam of sunshine himself.
Floyd Rose, homicide. You might back up?
Yes, sir. Phelps and Dunn, Wilshire Division.
We had a shooting took place down this alleyway. We have the Vic, Scooter Payton, a Negro male bagged up and on his way to Central Morgue. Witness says a tall white guy, our shooter, put 2 in the Vic's head and then threw his piece. I need you guys to try and recover the gat.
You want us to look anywhere in particular?
Give it your best shot, guys. The dead guy's a lowlife. I'm not expecting any miracles here.
And if we recover the weapon?
Bag it and return it to technical services.
Hurry up, Floyd. We got
I'm outta
places
here.
to be.
Happy hunting.
This is a fist hump. Just going through the motions. You're probably right. Let's just get it over and done. All right, have it your way. We'll search right up to the back wall. If you still don't come up with anything, come find me and we'll talk it out. 2 heads are always better than 1. Look at this junk. It's not my job to pick through other people's trash. What have you got, Phelps? Anything? Jesus. Cole, come take a look at this.
No.
I tell you, I'm jinxed. I always get landed with this crap. We're never gonna find it. It's a waste of time.
Dr. Fontaine, could I have a word?
Of course, young man.
I really enjoyed your lecture, Doctor. Psychiatry seems to have a tremendous amount to offer.
Why, thank you. I'm always happy to receive acknowledgement for my work. The mind is the last great mystery in medicine. Are you thinking of specializing, Mr.
Sheldon, or Courtney Sheldon. I'm only in 2nd year, Doctor. They fast-tracked me a year because of my experience during the war.
Ah,
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. Battle fatigue and collapse under duress. Can it be helped?
I would say yes, given the right set of circumstances. Trauma forces the mind to close down, retreat in on itself. We try to find ways to unlock the mind again through a combination of therapy and drug treatment. Hypnosis and therapy are powerful tools in the right hands, Sheriff.
I've been to visit some of the guys at the VA hospital. A good friend of mine. He's so far away. It's like he's wandering
We
around.
went through a lot together.
Yes, Doctor.
Give me his details and I'll make a prognosis. I have a number of clinics in Los Angeles, Courtney Shelton. If your penance or your friend's help is to come and work at one of them in your spare time, with what little spare time a medical student has, is that a deal?
Is it ever? I can't thank you enough.
I'm not promising a cure, Courtney. I want you to remember that. Every physician has patients that he cannot hope to cure, for whom he can only smooth the path to death.
Seems irrelevant. It doesn't appear to be connected. Junk.
What are you doing, Cole? You've gone too far. Smith & Wesson, serial S71893. Two rounds fired, and instead of dropping it down a drain, our shooter hoists it up here. Interesting guy.
Hey, Cindy!
We should follow up on this now, before the perp tries to leave town. have the gun, Cole. Let's take it back to Central. We could get a commendation.
Could show some initiative, Ralph, and see if we can come up with an owner.
That's a long shot, Cole.
It's a pretty fancy gun. You know a local gun store?
Sure. There's a place a couple of blocks from here.
Not much help. Don't think this is anything. Doesn't give me anything to go on.
Are you sure about this? It's not really our gig.
No harm in doing some digging. The suits didn't seem to give much of a damn.
Such a little Boy Scout, Cole. You can't wait to get out of that uniform, can you?
You'd rather round up drunks than help old ladies across the road?
I'd rather get through the day without the captain's foot up my ass.
It'll be fine, Ralph. You worry too much. Shooter put him up against the wall and blew his brains out.
Hell of a way to go.
Doesn't really matter how you go once you're gone.
Don't get all deep on me, Phelps.
We go now to national news here on KTI.
20,000 pounds of highly dangerous metallic sodium head for destruction in Lake Lenore, Washington. The government surplus chemical ignites and explodes when wet. The alkali lake is devoid of fish and forms an admirable disposal spot. A 3,500-pound container of sodium hurtles into the lake and crashes through a foot of ice. As the water seeps in, smoke.
fine, but if the skipper sees us driving around in this, we're dead. You want me to keep tabs on the path of destruction you're creating? It might come in handy at your trial.
Officers Phelps and Dunn. Can you tell us anything about this gun?
Smith & Wesson, Model 27, registered Magnum. Chambered for .357, nickel-plated with pearl grips. Same gun used by General Patton.
You're not suggesting he's the owner?
No, I'm not.
You seem to know a lot about the weapon.
I ought to. I sold it. You know, this piece will stop a rhino. These babies are only available special order. Here's my Smith & Wesson order book.
You mind if I take a look?
Be my guest. This is about something bad, right?
I got you right now.
Model 27 with pearl grips, Cole. You see it on there?
We're in luck. Errol Schroeder, 203 South Glass Street. Ordered the gun in February 46. Thanks, you've been a big help.
Anytime. Always happy to help out the LAPD.
Circumstantial. I don't think so. Not sure this means much.
Do we call it in?
Let's see if he's at home. Owning the gun doesn't prove he pulled the trigger.
Okay. In for a penny, in for a pound. Lead the way, Gunga Din.
Getting darn expensive. Keep up her whiskey diet.
Now that wasn't so hard, was it? Just because we're in uniform doesn't mean we can't use our initiative.
I guess so. Seems a little too good to be true. One-of-a-kind murder weapon bought locally using a real name? If Schroeder's our shooter, he's no criminal mastermind.
Most of them aren't. That's why they get caught. 2 out of every 3 crimes are done on impulse.
Another fact from the Phelps Encyclopedia of Thin Air. You really are full of it. keep going on this road.
Fine, but if the skipper sees us driving around in this, we're dead.
Schroeder, Harbin 2.
What do you guys want?
I'm Officer Cole Phelps. This is Officer Dunn, Wilshire Division. You're the owner of a Smith & Wesson Model 27, nickel-plated with pearl grips?
I might be. What of it?
Then you'll be surprised to know that Scooter Payton was murdered tonight with your gun.
You're out of your mind. Scooter? He works for me. I have that gun here in my drawer. What the fuck is going on here?
You're under arrest, Schroeder. Cuff him, Ralph.
No way. You're not taking me down for this.
That was a very bad move. Ralph, you all right?
I'm fine. I hardly felt it.
He's lucky he caught me off guard.
Keep an eye on him, Ralph. I'm gonna take a look around. List of names and a series of numbers. Floyd Rosa's name is in this book.
Phelps, we can come out of this all bright and shiny with a commendation. Or stick our schlongs in a hornet's nest. Call it in, partner. And leave the book where you found it.
Officer Phelps, badge 1247. Requesting.
Get on this bus.
Didn't ask for your help.
He didn't ask for your help. Can you believe this guy? Who are you two? Abbott and Costello?
We're here for OCS, Sergeant.
So it's the three fucking stooges and you're here for OCS. God help this fucking country and the USMC. The Japanese will do the world a favor and kill you quickly. All three of you are on report. What are your fucking names?
Phelps.
Kelso.
Merrill. Any other gentlemen for OCS? OCS is at Elliott. You take the Camp Elliott bus over there. This bus is for MCRD. This bus is for men who want to fight.
Well, you picked the right place, Cole. A city that needed an honest cop like a thirsty man needed water. You'd heard the stories, but you weren't interested. You were here to fight the good fight, solve cases, right wrongs. But the force is like politics. There's no sitting on the fence. You have to choose sides. A brown paper envelope or a Greyhound ticket to Pflugerville. It could only ever end one way.
All units, a 211 in progress and shots fired at Westlake Savings and Loan, 1415 West 3rd Street. Unit to handle identifying code 3.
We'll take that. It's only a couple blocks from here.
14 Adam calling KGPL. We'll handle the 211.
Roger that, 14 Adam. Be advised, suspects are armed and dangerous.
Roger KGPL. 14 Adam en route.
Make it quick, you guys. The cops are here. We gotta move it. Find some cover.
Weapons on the ground, now! Try for the front door. Keep your goddamn head down. Use the cover, Phelps. We don't know how many are in there. Take it slow. Back up into your suit. Why is nobody covering me?
LAPD, put down your weapons. The bank is surrounded. I'm offering you a chance.
Copper.
Go ahead! Kill a cop, and it's the electric chair. Stay down. That's it? We got them all? I think we got them, Cole. Should be all clear. Lieutenant Hopkins says anytime you reach for the shotguns, you're either going to end up dead or wearing a citation. So I guess
It's okay, Ralph. You did well in there. Glad you had my back. Man couldn't ask for a better partner. This kind of opportunity comes along once in a lifetime, Hank. I have to grasp it.
You have to survive it first, Cole. Here are the veterans. The Japs love to shoot officers.
If I can make a name for myself in this war, my future...
Thinking of taking on a company of the Emperor's finest single-handed? You don't seem the Sergeant York type to me.
When I need your opinion, Kelso, I'll ask for it.
They talk about officers like you in boot camp, Cole. They call it the Custer Syndrome. Guys who go around dreaming of fame and glory and getting all of their men killed in the process.
Our duty is to lead, Kelso.
And their duty is to die for your wonderful future?
Cole Phelps and Jack Kelso. With some people, it's as simple as chemistry. Two guys who should have been friends, but their personalities got in the way. Phelps, a good guy, wound way too tight. And Kelso, a quiet man who could never walk away from a fight.
Well, it's a shame you don't like to talk about it, Cole.
Ralph, friends who want to stay friends don't discuss religion or politics. And in my case, you can add the war to that.
I know that bum. Wendell Bowers. I put him away before. He jumped parole. Get after him, Phelps. I'll head him off in the car. Wendell Bowers! Stop! LAPD!
You can go screw yourself.
Why, you! He's hiding in the alley! Bowers! Hold it right there!
Stop now or I will shoot. I won't tell you again, Wendell.
Jesus, Dunn! Watch your fire!
Don't want to do this. Get down from there right now.
Give it up, Wendell!
Stay the hell away from me.
You gotta be kidding!
You fucking asked for it. There's no way I'm going back inside. I've done my time.
It's over, Bowers!
You assholes already screwed me once.
Give it up, Bowers! There's nowhere left to go!
Looks like we've got the place to ourselves.
How you doing, Wendell? Your parole officer's feeling lonely. He's got a hole in his life for an asshole like you. You can make it up to him in 10 years' time. Watch your head. This hump will be back in the Iron Hotel by tomorrow night. Nice work, Cole. You run track in high school?
Part of the tradition of the Marine Corps and being an officer in the Marine Corps is the ability to make tough decisions.
The right decision is not always the popular one. The right decision will get the men you care about killed. These ratings and your ability to give them frankly and truthfully directly affect your chances of successfully becoming a Marine officer. Candidate Phelps, you have the floor. Esprit de Corps, Merrill, 10. Franklin, 8. Weiss, 8. Donahoe, 6. Kowalski, 6. Hudson, 5. Kelso, 2. Leadership, Donahoe, 8. Franklin, 7. Merrill, 6. Kowalski, 6. Weiss, 5. Hudson, 5. Kelso, 1. Candidate Kelso!
I'm sorry, Captain, but I joined the Marine Corps to fight the enemy, not get involved in the schoolboy chicken shit.
Kelso, in my office, now!
For every cop, there's the case that makes you. Gives you that leg up. Gets you recognized as the shining new star in the squad. The case that you solve that shows that you have the gumption, the gung-ho, the get up and go to make you stand out from your average rank-and-file patrolman. This could be the one, Cole.
Have you ever wondered why we are paid every 2 weeks when we work?
LAPD, could you stand clear of the body, please? Has anyone called an ambulance?
We've called an ambulance and the police, but I'm afraid he's dead.
Okay, stand further back and move along. It's your choice, but make it quick, people.
Hey, Cole. You got here quick. My beat crosses 7th Street.
Okay. You're first reporting then. We'll get a perimeter going and move the crowd on. You better see what you can find out before the homicide kicks show up. I'll be with you in a moment.
Everybody stay back. Let us do our job.
Show's over. Keep moving. Sir, I'm Officer Phelps. What exactly did you see?
I heard the shots. I thought it was a car backfiring. I saw a girl run into the shoe store.
You want to take a look around now? The witness can wait, Cole. We've got the perimeter.
Well, at least the first 2 games did anyway. Max Payne 3 can skip the comedy part in favor of Max Payne. Impressed. See, I've been wanting to talk about this game for years now, but
Broad daylight. Crowded street. I've seen everything.
But before we get into Max Payne 3, I think it's probably a good idea to look at how exactly we ended up here in the first place. Developed by Finnish game company Remedy Entertainment, the original concept for Max Payne started in the late 90s when Remedy began work on a third-person action game similar to Tomb Raider, which at the time was super successful. Firstly, the game of course needed a story, so Remedy looked to the writer they previously hired for their debut game, Death Rally. The writer in question being university student Sam Lake. Wow,
See the letter. There we received pearl earring. Made out the Bank of Arcadia.
Much deeper story within the context of an action game, something that hadn't really been done up until now. He started off with this archetype of a hard-boiled New York cop, and from there developed a darkly complex crime noir story with elements of Norse mythology thrown in for good measure. Hey, look, it's Ragnarok, the funny Marvel movie. Gameplay-wise, game lead Kenshiro Mito was a big fan of Hong Kong action movies and envisioned the gameplay for Max Payne to emulate the feeling of watching a Hong Kong movie. Introducing the concept of prototype into the game is also
Clear this area immediately. Right? This is a secure area. You all need to leave.
prototype thing. The game's initial release being 1999, so no, Max Payne didn't copy the Matrix.
We should make sure we check the whole crime scene
as
before
Remedy wanted to
questioning the
improve the game's graphics with more realistic features. Although, with that being said, why does Max's face look like this? If you couldn't already tell, Max Payne was modeled after Sam Lake himself.
I'm Officer Phelps. Yes, I'm here about the shooting.
Cutscenes, and also gifted us with
Did you know the victim?
overall the process to make the first game.
He was my boss.
As Remedy clearly went through
Mr. Gage.
Mr. Gage is your first name.
Everett.
And you are?
Galleta. Clovis Galleta.
Max Payne released to widespread acclaim and undeniably redefined the third-person shooter, being the perfect mix of good writing, fantastic gameplay, and the ability to still keep the game fun despite its grim subject matter.
Do you think you could tell me exactly what happened?
I I look around the shop that run. I was in a store when Mr. Gage, my boss, burst in yelling that I'm late on my lunch.
And?
We came back. I was angry. I walked in front. I heard shots. I turned and saw Mr. Gage fall.
And you don't know who shot Gage or why?
No, officer.
A man is dead, Miss Scaletta, and it's a criminal offense to lie to a police officer. I will take you downtown.
Get out! Get out right now! Send in one of the other policemen if you must, but I won't say another word to you.
Doesn't tell me anything. FN Browning, serial number 01138. Might need to run it by a gun store.
We have the murder weapon?
No murderer. The girl saw it all, but she clammed up on it. We can trace the gun.
Eagleson's gun store's a couple blocks from here.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Tate, maintain the perimeter. What did I tell you about going too hard on the witness? She's a store assistant, not a prisoner of war.
Is that supposed to be funny?
I'm just saying that sometimes you need to pour some sugar on these broads. A little bedside manner can go a long way.
And since when are you the expert? We got the murder weapon, didn't we?
You shouldn't dole it out if you can't take it, Phelps. She was a looker, though. Tell me I'm wrong.
No wonder you're suddenly so obsessed with bedside manner.
Officers, what can I do you for?
Officers Phelps and Dunn, sir, Wilshire Division. We need you to trace a serial number.
Sure. What's the make and model?
FN Browning, model 1922. The serial number is 01138.
You don't say. Well, I didn't sell it. Europeans love them, but it's pretty rare you find one over here. Although I did have one in here a couple of weeks back.
Remember the owner?
Yeah. Caillou. Edgar Caillou was his name. Thing looks like it'd never been fired, but he brought it in here for cleaning anyway. And he bought a box of cartridges and he left.
Do you know where we can find Mr. Kalu?
Told me he was on his lunch break. Said he worked at Hartfield's jewelry store just up on Broadway.
Thanks for your help.
You are listening to Duke Ellington.
So what next?
Hartfield. It's up on Broadway, Cole. Come on.
Say, could I borrow some of that?
Have you got a death wish?
Officer, can I interest you in a new watch?
Officer Cole Phelps, are you Edgar Kalu?
No. Mr. Kalu is out back. He said he'd lie down. I'll buzz him for you.
Son of a bitch! Go, Cole, go!
Kalu, get back here!
He wants a 5-star.
Be careful, feels dangerous. Too late, Kalu!
I don't know. People like you, but I have to say,
Don't make it worse, Kalu! There he is, officer! Edgar Kalu, you're under arrest for the murder of Everett Gage.
The case that makes you, and the case that breaks you. The one you never solve, the one that keeps you awake at night. The case that gnaws at your guts and ruins your marriage. The case that keeps you propping up a bar as you relive the what-ifs, the might-have-beens, the half-leads, and the half-truths. The case that other cops murmur about whenever you walk past. The case you never, ever discuss.
God's mill may grind slowly, but it grinds finely, son.
I hear it's you who knocked down Malefactor from the shooting yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Then tell me, Boyle, I hear you're quite the climber, a man of initiative. How would you like a chance at smiting this man with the sword of justice?
You're asking me to conduct the interview, sir?
I am, young Phelps. You've only been with us a short time and you've assembled yourself a stellar arrest record. Not to mention the fine work you did in the war, sending heathens back to the hell they came from. But I'm curious as to whether you can turn your hand to interrogation. Takes a certain animal cunning, lad. Do you think you might be ready for that?
Yes, sir. I think I am.
Good man. You need many things for a conviction, young Phelps. A motive, opportunity, hard evidence, and best of all, a confession. If you fail in the former, you can always use a modicum of violence to obtain the latter. How are you feeling, lad?
Fine, sir.
Very good. The evidence is overwhelming. May the cat eat him and the cat be eaten by the devil. Bring me a confession, young Phelps. This is your chance. Don't fail me.
Has my lawyer arrived yet? I want to see my lawyer.
A lawyer can't help you, Mr. Kalu. You shot a man dead in cold blood. You're going to have to pay for that. Let's talk about the shooting. Do you deny shooting Everett Gage?
I'm a businessman. I run a jewelry store. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sure my lawyer can clear all this up.
Was coming. You shot Gage, and we know why. We can put you at the scene. You can't prove anything. We know all about the art. And we know why. We can put you at the scene. You can't prove anything.
You deny owning a Browning pistol, serial number 01138.
I owned a gun, yes, but it was stolen in a burglary a couple years ago. You can't prove I used my gun on Gage.
God's will may grind slowly, but it
what you're talking about. I'm sure my lawyer can clear all this up. You deny owning a Browning pistol, serial number 01138. I owned a gun, yes, but it was stolen in a burglary a couple years ago. You can't prove I used my gun on Gage. Gage was an asshole that way. Caldwell. Like the season. You deny all it. You can't prove I... You had the gun clean. You can't prove I used my gun on Gage. You had the gun clean.
You had the gun cleaned and bought a new box of ammunition. The store owner remembers you and where you were.
Is that so? It's amazing what the nebbishes will recall when it suits them.
Let's change the subject. You fasting for Yom Kippur, Mr. Kalou?
Yeah, let's change the subject, you going motherfucker. How about baseball?
You're not denying you're a Jew, Mr. Kalou.
This is America. It's not Germany. It's not a crime.
Some people don't like Jews, Mr. Kalou.
Yeah, and I guess you're one of them.
Gage hated Jews, didn't he, Mr. Kalou?
I don't know what you're talking about. Is that so? Is that so? I'm charging you with the first. Is that so? It's amazing what the nebbishes will call rental. Edgar Caldo. I'm charging you with the first degree murder of Everett Gage. I respect your beliefs and your right to hold them. Officer Phillips, an honest-faced public and admired. I applaud a man with your talent for unwavering justice. Back to your duties for now, boy. But here's a piece of advice. Get yourself 2 suits and get them pressed. You'll be needing them. My name is Alfonso, and I got Bulletproof Cosmetic for the first time. The lines that I was concerned the most about were on my forehead. Okay, stay. You tell me, Mr. Caldo, you shot a man dead in cold blood. You're going to have to pay for that. Really? Somebody's going to stand up in court. And I guess you're one of them. Gage hated Jews, didn't he, Mr. Caldo? I don't know what you're talking about.
You left-wing leaning parasite. You expect me to sit here and listen to your drivel?
You call me that? You sit there and you call me those names, you goddamn goy butt snatcher? You and that stup Gage!
Why did you do it, Mr. Kalou?
Gage. He's in the Chamber of Commerce. He's in with all those momsers. He blocked every proposal I ever put forward. Kite this and kite that. He's been trying to ruin my business for years.
Edgar Kalou, I'm charging you with the first-degree murder of Everett Gage. I respect your beliefs and your right to hold them. I hope for your sake the jury can commute to murder in the second degree. May God have mercy on you, sir.
Masterfully done, Officer Phelps. It is just, Officer Phelps. Isn't it, lad?
Yes, sir.
Then let me have a word with the Chief of Police, young Phelps. The department needs heroes. A shining, honest face the public can admire. I applaud a man with your talent for unwavering justice. Back to your duties for now, boyo. But here's a piece of advice. Get yourself 2 suits, get them pressed. You'll be needing them.
Here's your new desk, kid. You're on traffic. The hot sheet is posted here, next to the map.
What's his problem?
That's Biggs. He's an institution.
This is what all the fuss is about. Why couldn't they build a freeway that goes past my place?
They haven't even approved the money yet, kid. The bond issue won't be till December. It'll be years before any of this will happen. Here's your new partner, Stefan Burkowski.
Heard all about you, Phelps. You go easy on me and let me earn the odd citation, and maybe we'll get along fine. I'm here to learn, Detective.
Oh, he's an intense one, isn't he, Mel? Who's intense? The newly minted detective here, Cole Phelps. Hi, Phelps. I'll be keeping an eye on you. I could spend a little time basking in reflected glory. Make a change from busting hookers and dope fiends. Who was that, Commander?
Roy Earl, chief detective and advisor.
They all dress like movie stars?
Well, Roy is a movie star. And the whole of the seedy side of LA is his audience.
What is that supposed to mean?
Stick with me, kid. You'll find out. And now some housekeeping. Warm Central Division welcome for Detective Cole Phelps. Some of you guys may know Phelps. He's the cop who broke the jewelry store murder. Stand up and take a bow, Phelps.
If it's all right with you,
That's
sir.
an order, Phelps.
Quiet.
Phelps is one of only 2 serving LAPD officers who received the Silver Star during the war. Really gave it those lousy Japanese, eh, Phelps?
I did my best, Captain.
Why you war heroes always so modest? I'm partnered Phelps with everybody's favorite Pole, Stefan Bukowski.
Hope you like work, kid. Bukowski sure as hell doesn't.
Well, that's why we are partners, right? Okay, can it, guys. Stick with Bukowski. He's a good cop. He knows traffic inside and out. I'm gonna start you out with 1 case. You okay? I'll give you a couple more. You screw up, you'll be rousting vagrants and running license plates. Now get down to the PE Freight Depot, 6th and Alameda. Patrolman called in a suspicious vehicle. Signs of foul play. See what you can find out. Come on, Phelps.
The thing was, he was a really nice guy. I felt loud to tolerate him. They really pushed you through quick, didn't they? 6 years on patrol before I got this desk. You were here in 5 minutes. What do you want me to say? I didn't ask for any favors.
Song and dance right now.
That's the guy. You know this place?
Sure. Near the old gas works and signal depot in the warehouse district. I'll direct.
There's no use denying, I might as well confess. Gonna get married, and
Come on, Bukowski, move it.
On my way.
When we get married, we'll have a pretty cottage not too far. Yeah. All things seem like a movie.
Are you blind?
So, tell me a little about yourself, Phelps. Are we friends now, Bukowski? We have to work together. Don't be so touchy. I grew up in San Francisco. My father was in shipping. I went to college at Stanford. Did 2 years ROTC before Marine OCS at Camp Elliott. Shipped out in early '45 as a first lieutenant and fought in the Okinawa campaign. I was wounded, shipped back home. Did a year on the beat. Now I'm here. So you won the Silver Star. I don't want to talk about it. Now let me get this straight. You single-handedly killed 40 Japs on this hill in Okinawa. No. You were up there all night, draped in the flag, knife between your teeth, gun at the ready. Finished? The Emperor Hirohito himself leading the charge against you. I did my part, Bukowski. What did you do? I kept the streets of LA safe for the people. Yeah. Now I get it. Unfit for service. Now fuck you, Phelps. I earned a bravery citation during the Zuda riots. Sounds like you had it rough. I did my job. No one is saying you didn't. I did 6 years as a patrolman. That's the third time you've told me.
Up on the roof, officer. He has a mask on his face. I caught sight when he shoved past me, but be careful. I saw him waving a gun.
Give it up now! Make it easy on yourself!
Get the hell away from me!
on the roof, officer. He has a mask on his face. I caught sight when he shoved past me, but be careful. I saw him waving a gun.
Give it up now! Make it easy on yourself!
Get the hell away from me!
Hurry! You can still catch him!
Now, are we gonna make a bargain or what?
Put the weapon down, now! Put your weapon down! Can you drive to this one?
That you, Bukowski? Go on through. Parking lot straight ahead.
I need to get back to work, officer.
The detectives are here now. You repeat to them what you told me.
I did the right thing by calling this in. I'm just a working student.
Just give them your story and you'll be all right.
This is your first case, Phelps. It's okay to admit it if you're stumped. If you don't know what to do next, just come talk to me and we'll see what we can figure out.
Thanks, Stefan. You're okay. I'm Officer Hart.
Phelps, traffic. What have you got?
Abandoned car, probably stolen. The solid citizen is Nate Wilkie. He called it in.
What gives with the coroner?
There's blood all over the interior. Someone's copped a full Broderick, but no stiff as yet.
We have an owner for the car?
The car is registered to an Adrian Black, just north of Bunker Hill.
All right, we'll take a look around.
I'll keep Mr. Wilkie talking, but don't make him wait too long. He's the restless type.
How long you gonna keep me here, sir?
I better get back to work, sir.
This isn't what we're looking for.
Mr. F. Morgan picked up a live pig yesterday?
Doc, Detective Phelps, what have we got?
A lot of blood for a blunt force injury. Victim must be in a very bad way.
Any sign of the guy?
Not unless he's in the trunk of the car.
Victim looks to have lost a lot of blood. "32 years old, married. Sounds like an average guy. What was he doing out here?" Happier times, I guess. Stenzel glasses. Home repaired by the look of it. Brand name might give us something to go on. Sir, I'm Detective Phelps. Name's Nate Wilkie.
You found the vehicle?
Sure. Saw it just sitting there. Strange place to be parking your car. Figured I'd better take a look. And then I saw all the blood. So I called the police.
Mind if I ask what you were doing out here?
Well, I work for the railway. I was on my way out to the switch and reckoned I'd take a shortcut.
Did you see anybody else in the yard? Maybe somebody hanging around the car?
Nope. I hadn't seen a soul all day till you boys turned up.
Do you know Adrian Black, Mr. Wilkie?
No, sir. That ain't a name I'm familiar with.
You ever seen the car before?
Funny enough, I did. A couple of nights ago, it was over there in the parking lot. I know most of the cars are parked here regularly, so it kind of stood out.
The wallet by the car. Was there anything in it when you arrived?
You accusing me of something, mister?
Do you want the patrolman to hold you down while we turn out your pockets, Mr. Wilkie?
Maybe I checked inside that wallet. Not that I was gonna steal anything. Maybe I took a look. But there weren't no money in there. Not even change.
We found a steel pipe with blood on it near the car. Do you know anything about it, Mr. Wilkie?
No, sir. I went straight for the law when I saw the car was full of blood.
When you saw the blood, was it wet, bright red, or darker like it is now?
Darker, I'd say. Looked dry already.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Wilkie. We'll contact your employer if we need anything more from you.
If you have to, I guess. I can't really spend no more time over this.
Somebody's got to inform the wife, Phelps. If you're done here, we'll head over there now.
620 Bunker Hill Avenue. You know where that is? Behind Bunker Hill. A couple blocks north of Central Station.
So, what do we tell the wife?
We play it by the book. There's no stiff yet, so let's see how it plays out.
Any unit able to handle citizen reports of 211 in progress. 437 East 8th Street.
Could be a car theft gone wrong. Make Black drive somewhere lonely, then give him a tap. But why leave the car? Obviously, someone got a little heavy-handed. It's the wrong way around. Well, how so, genius? Where is Adrian? If you've gone to all the trouble to steal the car, and it goes wrong, you leave the body behind, not the car. You got something there, Phelps. It doesn't add up. About the guy in the crossing yesterday? No, what happened? Over on Lincoln Avenue. This guy's driving along and his oil light comes on. He stops the car and gets out. He pops the hood and he's on a rail crossing. Oh, you got it. He's got his head under there checking the oil, and the Southern Pacific Freight slams into his car doing 90 miles an hour. The car came to a rest more than a mile down the track. What a pointless waste of life. You'll get plenty of blood and guts and mindless stupidity working traffic, folks. And who needs a Second Amendment when we'll give a goddamn fool the license to get behind the wheel of an automobile?
If it's a kidnapping, why leave the victim's ID? If it's a murder, why leave the car? The evidence doesn't add up.
Free lesson, Phelps. Evidence will only get you so far. You ask me, the whole thing feels hinky as hell.
What I wouldn't give to have your powers of intuition, Bukowski.
Don't worry, kid. Keep watching the master and you'll get there one day. Take it easy.
Let's go introduce ourselves. You talk to her, Phelps. I'm no good at this shoulder to cry on stuff.
Just a minute.
LAPD, Mrs. Black. May we come in? We have some bad news, and we'd rather discuss this in private.
I'm Margaret Black. Oh, we can discuss this in the living room. Please come in.
Your husband drives a blue Lincoln, Mrs. Black?
That's correct.
The car has been found abandoned, and I'm afraid there are signs of foul play.
I knew something was wrong when he didn't come home.
We believe your husband may be injured. We found a pipe on the scene with blood on it.
Oh, no! My poor Adrian!
Does the name Insta-Heat mean anything to you, ma'am?
Yes, it does. We've just had a new water heater installed.
Whereabouts, Mrs. Black?
Just outside the kitchen window. At the side of the house.
I'd like you to try and stay calm and remember everything that you can about last night. My partner and I are going to take a look around. When you're ready, we're going to have some more questions for you. Is that okay?
Of course, officer. Anything to help secure my husband's safety.
Well, let's check the place out. Come on. Have a good look around. There's got to be something in here to go on. Lie down. Make yourself comfortable. So, you're a friend of Courtney's. Yes, Doctor.
He seems very concerned about you. I have these visions. These blinding visions. I can't get them out of my head. My skull, it feels like it's in a vice.
I'm going to give you something to calm your nerves.
I want to take you on a journey back. I want you to remember the good things about your past. Occasions that made you laugh. Times that made you smile.
Kavanaugh's. So who brought this home? Maybe Adrian was a patron. And I should have an address. Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address on a Kavanaugh's bar.
Certainly, Detective. One moment. Kavanaugh's Bar, corner of Aliso and Hewitt, south side of Union Station.
Thanks, ma'am. Used ticket to Seattle and a suitcase gone missing. Someone couldn't wait to get out of this house. This must be Adrian's. Stenzel. So the glasses are a match. Separate bedrooms, separate pictures. What gives here? To my Adrian. This thing gets more and more interesting. This was only recently installed, not 2 days ago.
Maybe it's time we took a look around outside.
No use leaving the thing half finished. That can't be right. No, that won't work. So the pipe missing from it, Mr. Black's here, is the same one that killed him. Huh. Seems like the assailant is a little closer to home.
I'm all right now, Detective.
We found a receipt in the trunk of your husband's car for a live pig. This receipt was made out to an F. Morgan.
A pig? Adrian runs a tool business. That would be Frank Morgan. God knows what he's up to.
What makes you say that about Morgan, ma'am?
He's the foreman at my husband's plant. Very shady character. I told Adrian he needs to keep his distance from the staff. They're always out drinking together.
Your husband frequents Kavanaugh's bar?
How did you know that? Adrian practically lives there after work.
So Adrian spends a lot of time there?
Up until recently, he's been away in Seattle a lot on business.
Did your husband tell you where he was going last night?
All he said was he was going to meet Frank for a drink.
So nothing out of the usual then.
He came home early from work. He never comes home early. And he went out early, too. He normally never leaves for the bar till about 7.
Was your husband wearing his glasses when he left here yesterday?
Yes, he just bought a new pair.
Go on.
I kept telling him to throw those old ones away. He tried to repair them with tape. It looked terrible.
Tell us about the photo of Adrian in the bedroom.
What's there to tell? It's from his most recent business trip to Seattle.
There's plenty to tell. You just won't tell it. You're lying about the photograph, Mrs. Black.
You're incredibly rude and insensitive. But I guess you know that. I've told you what I know about the pictures.
What about Nicole? Mrs. Black. Was your husband going to leave you for her?
I've seen the photo frame. He thinks I'm stupid. But women sense these things. I don't know if he intended to leave me or if it was just a flame. God only knows. I only want to know that he's safe.
I think you should come clean with us, Mrs. Black. Your husband is missing, and after our search, I'm willing to call the circumstances suspicious. Can you account for your movements last night?
You're not accusing me, are you? Oh, what an awful thing to say. I was here all night, of course, waiting for Adrian to come home.
Is there anyone who can vouch for that?
Well, no.